You are now watching Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast TV. Chill! Yes. Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman, your host of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Well, welcome to another episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast TV. Hope all is well. I ain't gonna hold you. It's been a while since we had a Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast TV, and now we are back with a new episode. And of course, as always, we have our special guest. She is one half of the Wet Lounge. She is a podcaster. We got Miss Sierra Coco on the show, and we're gonna talk to her about many things, about her podcast show, about her new podcast show, and many more. So you already know what to do. Sit back, relax, and I'll be right back. Yes, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. And at the time, I got my special guest. She is a podcaster. She is one half of the Wet Lounge podcast. We got Miss Sierra Coco in the building. Sierra, how you doing?
Hey, friends.
What's
Hey, what's up? How are y'all?
Yes, I am good. And, welcome to my show. I ain't gonna hold
Thank you.
This is something that I've been trying to do for a minute.
We've been trying to get here for a while.
Because originally I want you on the premiere with Pocket Me, my team show. But
right.
that didn't work out. But then I tried to get you on my show. Then I had to do some personal stuff. But finally, happy that you're finally here, and we're finally happy to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here. It took a while, but we got it done, and we here. We're gonna make magic happen. So it's cool.
Fact. So before I start with the actual interview question, I got a little story time because we got to tell people how we actually know each other. So back in 2020, you hit me up to promote your birthday party.
Right. Yes, I remember that. It was for Katras.
Gotcha.
Down in the lower east side, for those that's not familiar.
That battery effects.
And yes, I remember that. It was me and a few of my friends, back from college and from back home. And yeah, I don't, you know what? I'll never forget it because we got there and it took about 15 minutes to get in because the bouncer is like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm looking at him like, Mister, go buy a clue, go buy a sandwich, go buy a coffee, do what you got to do, but find my table. It was the worst. But after those 15 minutes, everything was great. I only remember certain parts of the night in sections. That's how I know I had a good time.
Yeah, because I got there. I let my table know. I let them know that I got my birthday tonight. So okay, we make sure they're good. I hit you up to see you're good and stuff. You said you're good. I hit you up to let me go check out with her. So I went to your section, but I was kind of twisted myself. And your section was mad packed, so I couldn't even get to your section.
Yeah, so it was a lot of people. It was a lot of people. So. But I had fun, so thank you for that.
Yeah. That's a long time ago, but now we're doing this
right.
with the podcast thing. And
right, who would have thought?
Facts. We're going to talk more about that. But first thing first, let them know, where are you from?
Well, I'm from the South Bronx, you feel me? By 161, we're going to give that general area. So that's me, y'all. I'm from the Bronx, you feel me? Straight out the trenches. And yeah, I've been in the Bronx. I'm a Harlem baby, actually. I was born in Harlem Hospital back when there was still a McDonald's in the lobby. Okay. Okay, you feel me? But then, a few months after that, moved to the Bronx, and that's where I was raised. So I am a Bronx native. That's where I'm from.
Nice, but you ain't not from Brooklyn, but nice, nice, nice.
No, I won't be from Brooklyn. It's okay.
So how would you describe yourself as a person? Give me 3 words.
Okay. Outspoken,
Mm,
an individual,
mm,
and silver tongued.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's definitely right. That's definitely right. That's definitely right.
So that is me. If I had to pick three off the top of my head, that's me.
Okay, I ain't gonna hold you. That is a good answer. That is definitely a good answer.
Yeah.
So, what is one talent that you have that nobody knows about?
Um, that nobody knows about? Jeez. Hmm. I rap.
Oh, really?
I rap. Yeah. I rap. Um, I'm really good with wordplay. So like I swear, if I was born in that era where people was trying to get a jingle on the radio, oh, I'd still
Mm.
be eating off that jingle. Okay, I'd be Sir Mix-a-Lot out here. I know it. I know it because it's just something that I can do. Like I'll hear anything and I'll just keep it going until I get bored with it or other people get bored with it, and then I'm done. But I've never done anything real with it. I have done a few like college battle raps against other female rappers. I've won some, I've lost some. But that is one. I rap. Okay.
That is dope. I used to write music too, so I can relate. So that is dope. That is, yeah,
Okay. I feel you.
yeah, yeah.
I feel you.
And what is one thing that you like to do for fun?
I like to try new foods. Well, you know what? I like to try new food places because I am kind of picky, but like not really. I'll always find something new to try wherever I go. The hard part is you can't just spring a new
Yeah.
restaurant on me. I have to see the menu before I agree to go. I
No,
have
no, no. I
to.
feel you. I definitely feel like that. Even though I love food, but it gotta
Yeah.
be something that I like on that menu
Yeah, like
to really
I'm
like.
not
Yeah.
I'm not too big like into like I guess Korean based dishes like ramen and things like that. And maybe because I haven't really been exposed to it too much, but like you can't hit me with that and think I'm excited to try it. Like I'll try it, but I'm very reluctant to go. But I'll try it.
Well, the Caribbean dish is good. Yeah, you gotta try it though. You gotta try it. You gotta try
I do. I do. I'm gonna try it. I just gotta find something on the menu that sounds appealing because half of the times I don't even know what the dish is. So I'm just reading the description, like, okay, so this stuff is in it. But I don't really know what it is. And I think that's what does it for me.
it.
But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to get around to that.
Yeah, because I ain't hold you. It's always good to try something new. So you definitely gotta try it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All
Mm-hmm.
all right. So now we're gonna get to the actual interview now. So let's talk about your beginning of life. So how was you growing up?
Growing up, I was an independent child, you know? So we can take that for, what we know that to be. I was an independent child, the convenient child, the oldest out of my mama's two, out of me and my brother. So early on, like I always knew how to do my own thing, chill out by myself or play by myself or just get tasks and things like that done. So I was that kid. I was also the kid that was singing and talking a lot. Like I had good grades, but if there was one comment, my teachers would always leave in the little comment section, a great student, but she loves to talk. And it's like, you know what? I do. I do. That's why I have a podcast now, because I do. Because I do. So I was the talking, the singing, independent. I love to read. I was the kid in class where the teachers were kind of shocked at what I was reading because I'm reading what they're reading. So they're like, "Oh, you read this?" I'm like, "Yeah, isn't it good? You want to read it next?" And they're like, "Oh, we can't read the same book." I'm like, "Oh, well, you know." Um, I was very shy and reserved, I would say, because I was just raised to be a traditional kid. I'm a 90s baby, so seen and not heard, and then when you are heard, have something to say.
Yeah.
Have something to say and know what you're saying. So I was very out the way. I like attention like most kids, but for the most part, I really like being left alone. So, so that was me, very, very to myself, but always doing my own thing.
Okay, nice. And isn't that wrong with that? Sometimes it's good to be to yourself at times. So,
Yep,
I, I get it. I get it.
yep, it sure is. So I'm glad I learned that early, so that way, now at this age, I'm not just hanging out with anybody or looking to chill with just everybody or in
Yeah,
every mix. So it's like it kept me out the way from a lot. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for that.
that's really good. That is really good. So, how all that you've been through made you the person that you are
Woo.
today?
So so with the way my life went, like literally my life. I'm 27, but I'll be 28 next month. But my life, the way my life has shaped me, it's like like I'm currently doing the inner work to change my outer person right now from things that I went through growing up. So while there are parts of my resilient independent attitude that I will always keep with me, there are a lot of parts where I appreciate where you've gotten me, but also it's time to let that part go. And I feel like I guess be who I'm supposed to be. So I guess I feel like I don't know. I feel like sometimes the way I was brought up in my life story, I guess it kind of shook who I was supposed to be. And now I have to go and meet that person.
Mhm.
But for the person I am right now, I will say that it's made me tough in every aspect of the word. It has made me tough, child, like tough. Um, I don't take no shit. I can go in any room and be the attention. I don't have to look for attention. I am the attention.
Mm,
But I'm also the type I'm studious. I can have multiple conversations of different things. You put me in any situation. I may not have been there before, but I'm gonna get through it. And I might get there
mm,
faster than other people, but I'm gonna get there. But in other aspects, I just noticed that there's certain things with myself where it's like, like maybe that's not the best. Like I have a very aggressive nature and it's not all the time, but it is enough to where if you don't know me, but you think you do, or you're from the outside looking into the window of my life, you would just think that I'm a naturally aggressive person. And it's like, not really. I can be, which is, I guess, why I go so fast to be that person because, like I said, take no shit.
mhm.
But it's just certain things where it's like, you are getting older, it's just times where you just gotta reel it back, know that you could go there and not choose not to.
Yeah.
So I'm learning that. I'm learning to extend grace to other people. I'm learning to extend forgiveness and things of that nature. And it's still challenging. Some days I feel like I'm playing myself with these healing processes. I feel like I'm playing myself and I'm letting people play with me. But I understand that that's a part of the journey. So I'm just gonna take it in stride, and I'm gonna just see where we go from there. So we gonna see.
And,
We gonna
and,
see.
and you're already killing it already. So you're already doing a
Thank
good job
you.
so far. So just keep
Thank
doing your
you. I
thing.
appreciate it.
Take one day at a time. One day at a time.
Right. One day at a time.
So before we
Definitely.
before we dive into the wet lounge, tell me like what inspired you to start a podcast? Like what made you want to go this route?
Okay. Well, I majored in mass communications. I graduated from Dell State a few years back. And that's what I was doing out there. But originally, my very first summer job, I was 16 and I was working at a radio station in the Bronx
Mm,
called the Matrix Studios.
mm,
Um, so I was there with five other summer youth workers, and the owner and the CEO of the brand, Damian Williams, he actually allowed us to get an hour in every Friday on the air. And
mm,
it's like he had a different audience range than, summer youth workers ages. So, his audience had to turn down their comments and we had to make sure we kept ours levels of 16-year-olds who were being recorded. But
mm.
it was really good. The feedback that I was getting from the public, from YouTube commenters, it felt really good. Like, okay, like I do know what I'm doing. I've always wanted to be on TV. Radio was like TV. So I like this. So, it prompted me to pursue that. I did manage to become a co-host on a radio show out in Delaware. It was a late night show, kicking it with GP. That was my homeboy, and he allowed me to be his co-host. So I did that in between dancing. And I knew I could do it. So during the time of the pandemic, I just had to figure out like when, where, and what. If I could get down, my 5 W's and everything, then I got this. So, I sat at home, I thought about it, and I started getting to work. That's what happened. The Wet Lounge did end up taking a shift because originally it was supposed to be a solo show just for myself. Right. In the summer of 2020, me and an previous friend of mine, we reconnected. That summer during the pandemic, a bunch of money flying around, nothing to do. So everybody was outside, unfortunately, but I was outside. Mask, yes, but outside. So, but we reconnected. And we did hit it off because me and my old co-host, we used to be best friends when we were younger. And that ran up until college, but I went away, she stayed home. And naturally, we just drifted with no shade involved. So to reconnect, it never sounded like a bad idea. Come to find out that we actually majored in the same things. That was great. She called me up one day, all the way out here in DC, where I'm currently at. And she asked me, like, were you thinking of having a co-host? Would you be interested? Because I would like to try it, but I'm not sure if I, really have what it takes. I don't know if I can be entertaining for an hour. And the type of person that I am, I guess going back to how I was brought up, I'm used to taking care of other people around me or trying to meet their emotional needs as long as they seem like a safe person to extend help to. And my previous co-host, she did seem like the type. So, being friends, homegirls, whatever, of course we can. Like, I haven't started yet. It's nothing to go back, rewrite some stuff, add in your ideas. Let's see what works. Let's get it done. So that's what we did. It was a sex positive platform. That was also not supposed to be the tone for the show. Now, while we did plan to have a segment involving explicit conversation, I more so had planned to speak on other things, more robust topics, I guess, to really get more people involved, get people speaking, I guess, about things that they wouldn't, not just in the bedroom, but in other places. But I noticed, even after putting that down in the notes for how things should go, the more we went on, things were not going like that. So, being that the Wet Lounge was my first project, I just decided, when in Rome, this is what we're known for. I don't want to switch up now while the momentum is finally building. So we're just going to keep going with that. It's not harming us. So let's just keep building from there. And that's how the Wet Lounge came out to be. We dropped May 12th of 2021. And yeah, we ran all the way up until a few months ago. So.
And I'm not gonna hold you. I listen to your show on the daily. So and I enjoyed it. I did have good chemistry. I really enjoyed the show. I like the topic y'all had, and I really like the show. And at one point we wanted both of y'all on the Entrepreneur podcast, but but here's the thing that I started noticing things. So I started seeing you going on to the show. You was on the real talk with Tim. So shout out to Tim. You was on.
Shout out to Tim.
You was on Dane Will Be the Death of Me. Shout out to Amanda.
Amanda.
I was like, y'all can see her, she doing her thing, but in the back of my mind, I was wondering like, what happened to the Wet Lounge? Like, how come we didn't see nothing? What was happening with that? As a fan, I was first. So
I will give you the inside answer for that.
Try your best to explain. Try your best to explain.
Yes. Because I've only ever answered the question, off camera. But and with as minimal shade as possible, things started getting bad behind the scenes. And again, with my nature, I could only hold back for so long. And I tried, it wasn't ideal. There was things that I noticed during season one where, first I explained to her, like, I noticed I first I know I explained to her, like, other people are noticing these things. I'm like, and I never really noticed it, but now that they're bringing it up, I'm kind of paying attention. So if we could switch the tone, for example, we sign on and off at the beginning, at the end of the hour. Um, my old co-host, she would sign us on and sign us off. So I explained to her, because we never delegated, and as long as everything seemed like a shared effort, it was not a problem with me, because I'm used to sharing, literally. So, I explained to her, like, the people that tune in off my behalf and everything, like, they're noticing, other people are noticing. So if we could we delegate that? Because I don't really want people to be under the impression that an idea that I brought to life is my side hobby. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the second chair here. And it's like, I get people who think like that's a power struggle thing, but no, like, because it got worse. So it wasn't really about like, this is my show, but it did come down to, you have to relax. This is my show. You asked to be my co-host, and I appreciate what you do here, but you don't do enough here to act like that. So you have to go. She had a problem with me wanting to sign off and on, and it actually almost derailed us during an episode, because I called her on the phone to have a conversation, because that's who I am. Let's talk. Let's talk. I'm that person. And I called her, and she's passive aggressive. And when you know how somebody handles conflict, you already know what cards they're throwing at you. So I guess, like, she said okay, but when it came down to do it, we agreed she'd sign on, I'd sign off. The videographer cued us in, and I waited, and she didn't go. And I had to jump in and do it. Like, she was just looking around like, well, who's gonna do it? Because I'm not doing it. And I'm like, wow, like, the camera's rolling. Like, we don't even edit. So this is gonna be in the in the episode. Like, why are you that's wild. So why are you doing this? So it was that. Certain guests, we would book guests separately and then exchange our notes and either agree or deny. Certain guests of hers would come on, and they only had gifts for one person, because they were under the impression that there was no co-host and that I was the co-host. I'm like, hold on. So one, you thought that this was just a one person show. How did that happen? And two, you show up empty handed for the host because the co-host is giving out misinformation. Okay, great. We post pictures, and I'm noticing, like, the pictures of me in the beginning, they're like, we took 10 pictures and you picked the worst one. That's interesting. I also noticed that she wasn't sending the proofs to me to be approved. And to me, that was a red flag as well, because as girls, especially young women, we do that. If we take a group picture, send it before you post it. I want to see what I look like.
Yeah.
And, me and her go out socially. So it's like, you have amnesia now. Like, you don't know girl code ethic anymore. Okay. So I explained to her, like, you have to send the pictures to me before you post, because you're not picking the best pictures. She got annoyed with that. Sometimes she wouldn't send all the pictures, and I would have to ask her, like, where's the rest? Like, these are literally the worst of the bunch. Where's the rest of the pictures? And then she would reluctantly send the pictures later or right before it's time to post the episodes. Or if she didn't like how she looked, she would post old pictures from old guests while we're promoting for an entirely different episode. And I'm like, you're not being professional. Then she got annoyed because people wanted to work with me and not her. And I tried to explain to her, like, people are asking me directly through my personal page. You know what I mean? Like, it's through my personal page, because it's out of respect. It's not like they're trying to play you, but I guess my personality fits a little bit more. Like, I don't know, so she never supported any of my solo shows. She never promoted any of them. A lot. It was a lot. I was handling all the social media. I was handling all the guests. I got us a Linktree account, Jot form account, so that way our guests could fill out if they wanted to be on the show without waiting for a response in the DMs. And I just noticed she wasn't promoting any of that because she didn't want people to see all the work that I had done, because she didn't really have her name on any of it. So she was only booking guests through the DMs. She wasn't open to doing virtual shows so we could reach out to other people. And it's like, so you just want to sit and talk about sex? You can do that at home. You do that at home. So you know what? Like, you just gotta go. Like, you just gotta just go. Just go, because I'm gonna hurt you, and I've never put my hands on you, and I don't want to start now as an adult. So you just have to go. We got into it over the phone while trying to do the season finale. That never got done because I scrapped it because we're literally arguing on the air. So right, because I'm telling her, like, I'm gonna cue in at this time, and then we'll, just start off the top of our head, no guests and everything.
Yeah.
And she started, and I'm like, okay, so I'm like, I understand that it might be that time on your side since you're in New York, but my clocks here don't say that yet. That's what I'm saying. Like, when it's time, I will start, and you will know we're starting because I'm gonna start. And twice she kept doing it. I would restart the episode, and she would keep doing it. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Can you fight? Because I can fight. Can you fight? Because passive aggressive is cute, but if I get up, come home, and whip your ass, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So once we got to that point, I just knew she has to go. I can do this by myself. I have been doing it by myself. So I'm just gonna keep doing that. The worst. So I'm literally glad that it's over, because it was more draining than it was fun after a while. So I'm glad that it's over for the sake of not having to deal with her, but I can't wait to get back to podcasting.
And well, first thing first, I'm sorry that happened to you, and I completely understand. I completely understand, because I would enjoy the Wet Lounge show. So,
I had big plans, and I just, what it is, you're a good friend, but you're not a good business partner.
Yeah.
You feel like you have to compete with other women. That's why you don't like to meet women, or you feel like you have to be the spotlight in everything that you do. And it's like, for me, I'm very relaxed and I'm very myself. I don't try hard to be like, and things like that, because it's like, if you like me, then that's great, because you like me, because I was being myself. Now there's no persona for me to keep up with later in order to keep people, liking me and everything. She wanted to spend money we didn't even have. She's like, we should do a live show. I'm like, a live show? We don't even, are you hearing yourself?
Yeah.
Like, these things don't make sense. And it's like, if you get out and network with other podcasters who have been where we are and where we're trying to go, you will understand that some of your ideas sound crazy, and I'm not funding these ideas. So you just have to deal with that. Like, no, babe, we're not doing it.
Yeah. But so my next question now is, what next for you? Like, do you have a new podcast coming out? If you do, is it a solo podcast or is it another team podcast show? This is your chance to clear the air on that right now.
Yes. So I will be back. I'm hoping before spring, but if not, definitely during the springtime of 2023 with Pinky Swears podcast. That's your girl, me. And it's going to be a solo show. This time, I'm a little turned off from groups, but I do feel like somewhere down the line, a few seasons later, then maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll have a male co-host or something, or maybe two people, like this sounds so. I do like working with other people, but I'm just gonna fly solo on this one. So you guys can definitely be on the lookout for that. Just keep following the Wet Lounge page, because I'm just gonna convert that into my new page. So yeah, like, just keep up with me. I got a lot in store, and every day I'm working on it, making sure that it's like one of my best efforts yet. So can't wait. Just can't wait.
And I'm gonna support you. So I'm looking forward to your new podcast show.
Appreciate it.
And when it do drop, most likely we're going to talk about it again, bring it back, talk about it, and yeah. Now look forward to it. Look forward to it. So,
right.
So far as a podcaster, what have you been your biggest achievement so far as a podcaster?
As a podcaster,
yeah,
it would probably be the opportunity that we had to have another podcaster who we actually were watching on our own free time before we started. She is the founder and the host for Sex and the Gritty, New York City. Her name is Kay. And we had her on the show. I actually followed her on Twitter. And, I just decided, who says we have to have over 1,000 something followers before we start to work with certain tiers of podcasters. Like, I'm just going to shoot my shot from half court, and it worked. It worked. I shot from half court, and it worked. She was actually thrilled to work with us, and I thought that that was great. Actually, we did get some good followers that actually listen to the show, promote us, interact, and it was just really nice feeling like we have what it takes to run with the big podcasting dogs. You get what I mean? So it was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
very
yeah.
nice because you never know when you're gonna get to work with somebody that you look up to in the game until you're there. So the fact that we were able to do that in season one, it was just like, oh, this is nice. This is nice. So so that would definitely have to be that moment for me. So shout out to Kay and Sex in the City, New York Gritty.
Now, I think it's funny 'cause I actually do remember that episode. I think I've actually seen that episode. That was a good episode.
Yes, yeah, she had blonde hair and
Yeah, yeah,
everything,
yeah.
and we were talking about a lot. It was right before we took our Christmas break
Oh
last
yeah, yeah, yeah,
year,
yeah.
that
I do remember that.
episode.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was this time last year, like this day last year, if
Oh
I'm not
wow.
really
Oh wow.
mistaken. So that's about a year in, and yeah, like that has been the best part. So it's just like, okay, like that's cool, that's cool. We're getting out there, people are willing to work with us, so that means something we're doing is working, something I'm doing is working. So it that would definitely be my shining moment. That's
That's
it.
dope. And you killing it. That's dope. They keep just keep going. They keep doing your thing.
Thank you.
So what the goal for your podcast show? And when people, what's the message that you want your audience to listen to get from your podcast show?
Well, the one of my, I guess, long-term goals, I would love to try and get on a radio show, actually. Whether it be in New York or maybe somewhere else, like I would just love a chance to do that because I just feel like in 10 years, I know I'm going to be telling my own 10 years ago story. And that's my goal. Like, so I just want to start with the radio thing, so I'm trying to pace myself at least by 2 to 3 years in with this new podcast to be on somebody's radio station, coming through everybody's cars and living rooms, at least across the East Coast. So that's what I'm trying for. That's the goal. When you hear Pinky Swears podcast or you go back and you listen to old episodes of the Wet Lounge, I guess the message that I want to give across to people is it might not seem cool and it might seem taboo to talk about it, but be yourself. Be yourself, be who you are. And if you don't know who you are, be who you currently are until you get to where you're going. Because at the end of the day, nobody got it right. Nobody has it right. Nobody has it right. And you only get one. You don't want to live by certain standards that tells you this is how it works. Humans are not monolithic. We are
Mhm.
all different, and we owe it to ourselves to live our best lives, to have fun, to fall down graciously in certain areas, get back up stronger and move forward, to extend grace to others, to have grace extended onto ourselves. I also wanted to send a message of sexual positivity. Being a young girl in New York City, growing up in the age of social media, fake this, that, and the third. I personally am glad that I never went through the I wish I had someone else's
Yeah.
body or life type of moment, but I know that that's something people tend to struggle with. And it's like, none of that is real. So I share my experiences on how I gained my confidence everywhere through dating, through sex, through arguments,
Mhm.
through adventures, through exploration, through travel, and just being myself. And you will realize over time it might seem funny, it might seem outrageous, it might seem like, oh, I can't do this. Yes, you can. And 9 out of 10, you're going to.
Mhm.
So just be safe. You have your fun. Learn something from this because you can't take none of it with you. Just learn and go.
Yeah,
Just go and learn.
that's a fact. That was good. That was good. That was good. Also, we got the same goals. 'Cause I actually want to do a radio show in the future as well. So
Yeah, see?
yeah,
I
definitely.
feel you. Now
Yeah.
you're gonna get you put in a lot of work. So I feel like it's just a matter of time for you, for real. Because you do put in a lot of work. You drop gems constantly and you're very consistent with your content. So I just feel like, just gotta put your name and your physical being in the right rooms, and it's like magic. It's like magic.
I appreciate that, and it definitely gonna happen for you too. Anything possible, you gotta work hard and just keep going.
Of
So yeah,
course.
anything is definitely possible.
Of course.
So we're gonna switch gears a little bit, and as you know, we are in a pandemic. I guess we're doing a pandemic. Seems like it's getting
Right, like I
better.
guess.
Then everybody gets sick again. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I don't know. So my question is, how did the pandemic affect you, and what did it taught you?
Well, the pandemic taught me that none of this is real. Okay, none of this is real. That's that's what the pandemic taught me, because this country is crazy. I'm not even going to get into all of that, but this country and its mishandled ways we're being mishandled as a society, and it's a joke. It's a joke. Like, yes, it's all fake. This is all fake. This is all fake. I can't believe they treat us like guinea pigs. But I did learn that. But I guess what came out of the pandemic, I moved out of home literally about 2 weeks after the pandemic hit. Like, I was there and I just knew I can't be trapped here with y'all people and not go outside. I'm leaving. So I left. And I relocated to DC, which is where I am now. So I learned that, because during that point I had never lived, on my own except for college. But even the off-campus apartments, you still don't really feel like you're on your own when it comes down to it. But this was my first time with this move here. So I learned that, I can manage. I can handle myself. I can handle adversity. Okay. My parents raised a warrior. This is great. I moved out, actually, before I came to DC. I was in Harlem. I found a sublet in Harlem, on the west side, near about 145th. While I was there, and I had just started getting used to it, but I guess that was God's way of saying, you comfortable, you gotta go. So it's time to go. So I'm gonna shake you up a little bit. Wouldn't you know it, two unsightly men broke into my apartment while I was home.
Oh wow.
While I was home. While I was home. And I cannot believe it, because it literally was one of those moments where, like a Lifetime movie. I just got off the phone with my friend. I'm relaxed in my relaxed attire at home. It's summertime, lights, fan, action. I got the stove cooking on the stove. And do you hear that? No, I'm bugging out. No, it can't be. But after a few, no, I heard that one guy was coming in through the window of the second bedroom, and I knew somebody was in there. I'm gonna give y'all the story time. I knew somebody was in there because I was on the first floor, first door of the building, and the mailboxes are like right outside the wall, adjacent from my door. So a lot of times it sounds like somebody is like getting pushed into the wall, but that's UPS or whatever, whoever. So I had just got to a point where it's like, girl, ain't nobody coming to get you. Go to bed. Like, I had just got to that point. So I'm thinking, oh, just a mail or somebody's children playing in the hallway. Moving forward, I'm walking back and forth, and I noticed, like, when I move, they move. So I'm like, that's off. That's off. So, I'm moving around, testing it out, and then I sit still and I don't hear nothing. I'm like, okay. So I start moving around quietly. I'm hearing footsteps again. I'm like, no way, no way. So I go into my room. There's a hallway. So I go down the hallway into my room, which is the second bedroom. And I heard something fall in the first bedroom, which has been locked since I got there. I don't have a key for it. You got it. It unlocks from the inside. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, there's no way somebody would take the window. Mind you, it's like 3 p.m. in the summertime. So I'm like, who would break into somebody's house on the first floor in the middle of Harlem? Oh no, 145th. It's too many people. But I was wrong. God showed me I was wrong. So something drops, and I turn around, and wouldn't you know it, the bedroom where all the lights were off, there's suddenly a bunch of sunlight pouring into the bedroom. Why? Because somebody climbed in through the window and lifted the shade. And that's how I know somebody's in the house. So now I'm like, oh, nah. So immediately I grabbed my phone. I slide it in my back pocket. I'm like, okay, I need this. I grabbed the key, put it in my back pocket. I need this. Okay, grabbed it. I'm like, wow. Because I had just got dressed. Something said get dressed. You might have to get dressed. So I got dressed. So I'm like, okay, my shoes are at the door. I'm like, I'm gonna go out through the front door. But then I start hearing somebody messing with the lock. I'm like, oh nah. So I'm like, okay. So I ran to the back and I'm looking out the window. But it's too far of a drop, even though there's just trash back there. It's just too far of a, I don't know how, but for the first floor, it was too far of a drop. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. So, because nobody's going to find me back here if I fall. So I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I tried to go through the living room window, but there was like a window fan in there that I couldn't get out in time without making noise that they would know that I'm in there. So I'm like, oh, damn it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, what's the statute of limitation for killing somebody in self-defense in New York City? I'm like, not that long. I'm like, I think 3 years. I was like, I can do 3 years. So immediately I grab a knife. And I'm like, okay, you're short. 9 out of 10, they're taller than you. Everyone's taller than you. You got to make this count because they might get you. They're probably going to take you, but you got to kill somebody or at least get some DNA. Here's me being a law and order person. At least get some DNA. So I take the coffee table and I lift it up and I carefully move it by this bookshelf, which is stationed right outside of the bedroom that the guy is in. So he does that. I put on my shoes. I make sure they're tied. I don't want to trip or nothing. And I stand up on that coffee table and I get the knife and I'm looking like, where's a good projection swing? Like what? I'm like, does it matter? You just want to stab them. It doesn't really matter where you stab them. So I'm like, okay. So I'm getting ready. And then as soon as I go to swing the knife, he opens the door and it's the man I've been buying weed from since I moved over here. And then I turn around and it's like this huge guy that I have never seen. And in my head, I'm like, he just got out of jail, didn't he? He just got out of jail. He had just got out of jail that morning. I said, ain't no way. But just off the fact that it was somebody that I had familiarity with, I started hitting him with things like anything that was heavy, anything that had weight. I was just throwing that, hit him in his head with stuff, just throwing things at him. And I'm like, bro, get out. Like, what are you doing? He's like, I was just trying to help him get his things. I'm like, get his things? Who is this man? It was so much going on, but I scared off the skinny guy that came in through the window. He like, I'ma just leave. I said, oh, you think you taking the door? Back out through the window. You have to go back out through the same way you saw yourself in, see yourself out the window. Yes, I made him take the window. Now the other guy, now I'm alone in the apartment with the stranger. I'm like, and you? I'm like, the hell you doing here? Because now I'm just mad. I'm not scared no more. I'm mad. So I'm like, you, what the hell are you doing here? So he's like, I just want my stuff. It's summertime. I only got on winter clothes. I got arrested in January. I'm like, and you ready to go back? Because you just broke in to where I'm staying. Why shouldn't I call the cops? He gonna say, well, we both black. That's not enough for me. That's not enough for me. I'm scared now, mister. That's not enough. I have to move now. Like, what are you saying? So he's like, I can give you all the money I got. I said, they only give you $20 when they release you back out into the wild. Why would I want $20? He like, I got at least 80. I'll take it. I didn't care that he had just came home from jail. I'll take whatever you got in your pockets because I need comfort. I need a comp check. Yes, because what is happening? I packed up and I was out of there within the next 3 weeks. I swear I lost hair over that one. I could not believe it. I said, I almost ended up on Lifetime. I said, that's crazy. I said, and I'm black. They was never going to find me. Like, they was never going to find me. That's all I was thinking about. Like, they're not going to find me. They're not going to find me. Nobody's going to know it's me. I'm like, I don't have any DNA in the system. They're not going to know it's me. Nobody's going to know it's me. Like, it was a lot. But Jesus Christ. That was a story. That was a story. But I'm alive thanks to my aggressive, resilient, independent behavior. I ain't even called the cops. I thought about it, but I said they not gonna come in time, so I ain't even bother. Just put it in my.
And I ain't gonna lie, that story that was crazy. But I'm glad that you good, you're alive, everything good, and everything worked out.
Me too. Okay, me too. Because I didn't know how it was going to go, but I'm glad I'm here.
But I get to my brighter notes. So what is your dream venture? Something that you always want to do?
Something that I always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually would like to be a talk show host. That's actually something I would like to do. But currently something this is venture that I would really like to do. I'm considering getting my esthetician license so that way I can become a waxer because I want to open up a beauty spa in the city. I would like to do that. I was having a conversation with a guy one day and he said, there's a lot of barbershops, there's a lot of hairdressers, but there's really not a lot of real hair salons for women to go through, like something you'd see in beauty shops. He was like, barbershop culture, it runs deep. It can shape a man. He was like, sometimes that's the only meal time a man got is when he go to the barbershop. He might be raised by women. He was like, you learn a lot. He was like, you pick up on some manly tips. He was like, things women might find unnecessary. He was like, but essential to a black man's growth. He was like, and women don't really have that. He was like, I noticed anytime I had to meet a girl at her hair appointment or whatever the case may be, everybody just doing their own thing. The only people talking is the ones that's doing the hair. And usually they talking in a different language or whatever the case may be. And that got me thinking, like, he's right. There's really no place for us to get cute and also just be unapologetic women, regardless of race, but also for Black women.
Mm.
So I said, I do have friends that are good in other things, hair, makeup, nails, lashes. So why don't we do like a one-stop shop? Do it like a beauty spa, but do it right. Everybody get licensed. Everybody get certified. We do it right, get our credit up, really open up a store. And I'm seeing more young women do it every day. So it is, fueling my ambition to do that. So I am hoping that, I can do it. Waxing can be tasking. Let's say that it can. And I'm very colorful. I'm very colorful, and all of my reactions are authentic. So if I see something wild, I'm not sure if I'll be able to maintain my professionalism. So
No, no,
so
I feel
I'm
you on that.
still
You're not the only one. Continue,
so
continue.
I'm still debating on that, but I would really like to do it because I love like hair extractions and removals. Like the whole thing is very calming. So, I'm just sticking my foot in everything actually. Like things I always wanted to try, um, things I had to be old enough to do, like just everything. I'm just here to try everything.
I feel you in that. And anything possible, just go out there and do it. Anything is possible.
Anything.
Yeah,
Anything. I love it.
yes. So, other than the new podcast show, what other project that you got going on?
Right now, no other projects, though I am currently looking into, I'll be moving back to the Bronx next month. Um, so with that, I'm actually looking to find I want to say like I guess I'm not sure the right word for it, but I'm gonna go ahead and say an urban type modeling group. I did modeling in college, and college, I guess you can't really consider Delaware down south. It's like slap in the middle of nowhere. But Black schools, especially, the more you go down from up north, they give it up differently. Like even down to cheerleading and the marching bands and the majorettes, the dancing is different. They have role model teams that travel across the DMV, other places, Florida, Louisiana, everywhere, and they battle it out like runway. What you might see on Instagram, the runway, and it's a lot of hip action, a lot of spinning, and it's giving. So, but with that, I danced. It kept me in shape. It made me feel good. It boosted my confidence. So what I'm trying to do is get back into that, rebuild my body strength, my core strength. It could use it. And I would like to start a hill dancing class for women in the
Mm.
Bronx or wherever in the city, as long as they can get to the Bronx. And I would like to do that. Do some choreo, show women how to walk in heels because I hate the way the average woman cannot walk in heels. And it shows by the way that they walk in heels. You're walking in them like you're wearing sneakers. And I hate that for y'all. I hate that for y'all. So I just feel like if I can help some people walk in these shoes, then I just did something great. And hill dancing, it does a lot. It can change up your core, tone your legs, rebuild your hips. it can do a lot, and it boosts your confidence. It makes you feel sexy, makes you feel good about yourself. It gives you something to do. And embrace your femininity, all that good stuff. So that's what I'm looking to do. I just got to get back into doing it myself before I recruit other people for this.
Nice. You're doing a lot already, so I'm looking forward to everything you're about to do. I'm looking forward to it. So what do you have to do? What do you have to say for anybody going the same route as you? Say something inspirational, like the podcast and everything.
Okay. If you want to start a podcast, you do not need $1 million to do so. You don't even need $1 to do so. You can do this all for free, and you can start right now, like right now. You just have to, one, be consistent. Two, trust your process, because the process and your process are two different things. Trust your process. Be able to take criticism, seek out criticism. If you always wait for criticism to find you, you won't find it.
Yeah.
So seek out criticism sometimes. Be strong enough in yourself, be dead ass enough to say, that was kind of, let me see if somebody else agrees so I can see what I need to work on. Always be coachable. Always be willing to say, this person does what I do, and currently at this moment, they do it better than me. Let me go see if I can build a rapport with them, and if we can help each other. Maybe there's something I can offer them and they can offer me, and we can build a networking relationship. So just never be afraid. Like, honestly, like, just try stuff. Don't be afraid to say, wow, that sucks. Laugh, and then go back and do it again. It's all about how you recover. Recovery is everything, especially in podcasting. You cannot plan for the unexpected. Sometimes the unexpected is as simple as a rebrand that came out of nowhere, but you will see so many rebrands. You will rebrand so many times. Don't be afraid to say, this doesn't work anymore, or I don't live there anymore, so I'm going to do something else. Have fun, we all want to eat off of this, and we all can eat off of this thing, but don't kill yourself with the ideology of monetizing for what you're doing, that you forget why you started it, which is because you like to do this, or because you have a thing for this, or because hell, you just might like to run your mouth. But don't forget why you started, and just have fun. Like, just have fun. Be yourself. Like I said, be yourself. There's so many different types of podcasts these days. People think I'm crazy for having a sex positive platform. They're like, why you just talk about shit? I'm like, yeah, I do, because what's it gonna change? What is it gonna change? Like, it happened, like, these are my stories. This is it, and here I am. And sometimes that resilience, that confidence in yourself, it'll take you far. So just be yourself, be confident, be consistent, and be creative.
Yeah, that's really good advice. That's really good advice. So before you go, we're gonna play a segment game called Five Random Topics. I ask you 5 random topics, and you're just gonna answer it. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right. So first is your favorite type of music.
Pop.
Oh wow, really? Wow. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. Oh man.
I name a movie that made you cry.
The Fault in Our Stars.
Okay, good choice. Okay. What is a good first date?
It depends on what I'm trying to do, but usually I want to do small things. Like, I like to have casual first dates. I call them happy hour dates. So something like, go to the bar, wings. Let's get wings, because if we can sit and eat wings together and have fun, then we just did something. You know what I mean? Like, then we just did something, because some dates set the tone, in my opinion. So it's like, if we can do something low key and I still had fun, like we played it up grandiose, then I would like to see you again. And there's nothing, too elaborate about wings, some tequila shots, some fries, you feel me? So it's like, let's go to a happy hour date. Let's go to a nice lounge, hear the good music, some hookah, let's talk. And next date, we could do something a little bit more on the upscale side. We can get a little cute etc. But for a first date, hookah, some drinks, some wings fried hard, extra flat. You feel me? So we could do that.
Yeah,
We could do
that's
that.
good. That's a good choice. All right,
Yeah.
next we got next Love Jones or Love It Basketball.
Which one?
Love Jones or Love It Basketball.
Love and basketball.
Of course. And
Yes.
last one, last one, Jodeci or Drew Hill.
Jodeci.
Okay, good. You know what? I'm gonna give you a bonus one because this I'm gonna give you a bonus one. Beyonce or Rihanna.
Beyonce.
Okay. So Miss Sierra Coco, thank you for coming on the show. Now, this was
Thank you
a
for having me.
good, really good conversation, and I'm definitely gonna bring you back. And this was
Yes,
really fun.
definitely.
Definitely,
It was. I'm glad that we got this done.
yes.
It was great. I can write that off my podcasting book. We got that done. We made some magic happen.
Right.
And naturally, when I do start back up, especially because I'll be in New York, I will extend to you either a virtual or in-person show invitation, and we could do it again. We can do it
Oh,
again.
let's do it. Yeah, let's do it again. Also, I might invite you to the Premier Web Podcast, me and my team show when we back up. When we back up and running. So,
Listen, let me know.
got you. So,
Yes.
before you go, drop your social media where everybody can reach you, and let them know more information about your podcast show, your new podcast show.
Okay, so you guys can follow me on my page. That's at Sierra Coco. That's Coco Cocoa. But that's gonna be linked for the spelling. So stay tuned for that. You can also like me on Facebook at the Wet Lounge. You can follow the Wet Lounge page. That's at underscore the Wet Lounge underscore. And you can follow the Twitter, please, at the Wet Lounge underscore. Keep in mind, guys, that these social media pages are pages that I was using for the Wet Lounge. And so currently they're under rebranding. And they're a little inactive right now, but I am still checking for messages, for follows, and things of that nature. So just follow me like Google, and let's just see what happens. Because I will be converting those pages to get ready for Pinky Swears podcast. With this new podcast, it's gonna be all my shows are very laid back. So it's gonna be a place where you could come chill for the hour, and we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk, and I'm gonna bring in new topics every episode and talk about secrets behind those topics to really see what my guests do on their free time, see what they get into, what skeletons they're hiding. And we're just gonna talk about how that shapes people in their secrecies. And it's just a fun vibe. And I just hope that y'all enjoy it. I do drop gems. My advice is not one size fits all, you guys. So, just keep that in mind. But I do drop gems, and I'm hoping that y'all can enjoy it. But also with that, you can also find me on Anchor. Anchor, look for the Wet Lounge. Gosh, it's literally so much because I don't necessarily want to blur the shows, but you guys will notice the difference. The Wet Lounge episodes consist of me and my co-host, and that was a sex positive platform where we spoke about, well, everything. This podcast is just gonna be me. So yeah, if you do follow my main page, you will definitely get all of the latest content, looks at the new episodes, and just more about me. I'm very relaxed. I'm very cool, calm, casual. So y'all can hit me up whenever. You feel me?
Yeah, thank you, Miss Yara, once again, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
I just want to take the time and thank everybody for watching Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Pocket TV. Thank you to my special guest, Miss Sierra Coco, for coming on the show. And check out her new podcast show coming in 2023. And y'all already know, y'all can check out Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Pocket each night, Sunday at 12 a.m. We're on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, The Pods, and many more. And y'all could watch Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Pocket TV on YouTube. Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast Network. Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast Network on YouTube. So yeah, and once again, thank y'all for watching Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast TV. Have a good day or night wherever you're watching this episode.
You are now watching Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast TV. Cheers!